Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. Thank you so much for trying to hang in there with me. I've actually been losing my voice because as last year, the same thing is happening. They have the air on when they don't need it on. It's blowing in my face. Just it's doing the most. For me, cold air and me being anemic and it's already freezing outside, that don't mix. And so I end up losing my voice. I've actually gotten to almost non-existent and me being able to speak. So yeah, I'm talking now only because I have a cough drop in my mouth. And yeah, y'all, I'm on my little lunch break at my first job, my main job. So y'all, I'm doing this for y'all. Yeah, y'all, I'm doing this for y'all. Trying to stay lubricated and all that good stuff as well. Y'all excuse my hair. I actually made a wig Sunday and I ran out of hair because the way I'm going to do it is some of it is going to be attached to my head, coming out of my scalp, so to speak, and the rest is on something that I created a wig with. I will show that to y'all later on, but as of right now, you see me looking raggedy. Thursday is when y'all will see me, in my full regalia, so to speak, if I get on here. Anyway, y'all, did y'all see Love and Marriage Huntsville, the first part of the reunion? Y'all, they were doing the most. So everybody is arriving to whatever the location is where they were holding said reunion, right? And Letitia's in the back getting her, a good old sew in where she having some of the leave out. It looked pretty full and good. So I was like, I ain't even mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hair person, even though especially if you're new, you can't tell looking at me right now. But I really am a hair person. And I thought that person, whoever was doing that, was doing a good job, especially with her finished look. And Kaiwa is coming, so Kim is trying to act like she, I know she coming, and I'm ready for whatever she got to try to bring. And y'all, just in case you didn't know, whenever they taped this, Melody was actually 7 months pregnant at that time. And I told y'all a little while back when all the ladies on this show went on the sister circle, she was very pregnant then. So in my mind, I feel like, and she was like kind of out there then, so I kind of feel like the baby might already be here. I don't know. I don't follow them on social media. Y'all let me know in the comment section if you follow them on social media, especially her, because I'm pretty sure she would post a picture of the baby. But yeah. And Carlos King, he actually is the one who, brought this show to the forefront, and, he's behind it. He's the one. And all that stuff. He came and he was talking to them like he's there, trying to let them know, like, this is why we're here. Because Melody asked, like, what are we supposed to get out of this? What can we expect? And, he was like, look, we see that some things have happened within your marriages, and we want to see if some things can actually change within the friendships, for the positive. Y'all, anyway, the host is Egypt Sherrod. And I kept looking at her like, I know her from somewhere. So, just in case you don't know who she is, and you are kind of like me, and you were like, she looked familiar. Who is that? Egypt is I think she flips houses, and she's very prominent in the Atlanta area, and I think she does radio hosting as well. She's actually like on different HGTV shows. But yeah, I've seen her like on stuff. Oh, and she also was on Black Love. So, y'all know I'm really, really behind on that. I ain't no reason to even try to catch up now as far as trying to do a review on it. But anyway, I really enjoy that show. Y'all, so like I said, she is the host, and, she asked, as far as the hosts are concerned, why is it that you don't do any of these speaking engagements? As far as like every time you look up, she's the one, Melody, she's the one out there talking to the people. And he was like, well, we're a team and I don't really do all that and all that. But he was saying that he just wishes that his wife would thank him in said speeches. And so she did how she normally does when she kind of is mocking somebody. And she was like, thank you so much. I appreciate my husband, all this other stuff. Y'all know how deep he is about wanting recognition and all that for all the things that he's done for people. And I'm just like, okay, all right. Y'all, anyway, apparently there was a rumor that was going around that stated that Melody actually started off as the other woman, and she said that is completely false. So yeah, unless she's just putting on a good poker face, she said that's not false. So I don't know where that came from. And yeah, y'all, so anyway, they ended up having a segment where they showed all of the guys in daddy mode. I don't even know why they put Marceau up there, because no. I'm just like, no, why? Why? Okay. Y'all excuse me. So anyway, oh Lord, y'all know what happened within the show, but Martell seems to be an amazing father, Maurice as well, especially given the fact that he is trying so desperately to get his son down to Huntsville for him to live with him full time, even though he ain't here for it. So, y'all, Egypt killed me when it came to this part. She was like, did y'all grow up in the same house, meaning Marceau and Maurice, because you know they're brothers, because they act drastically different. And he was like, yeah, trust me, we lived in the same house. We had the same values and all the other stuff. But yeah, y'all know how he is. Y'all know how Marceau is. I ain't got time. So within another segment, the receipts for the side chick having a BMW and all that stuff came up. And so everybody's like, okay, well, where are the receipts? And Letitia is like, well, I have a picture that Melody sent me of a picture of a vehicle. And basically, she tried to make it seem like they were matching BMWs, but the car apparently was the exact same model, make, model, color, all that stuff as Martell's car. So in essence, it could have just been his car that a picture was sent. I don't know. It was just dumb. Y'all excuse me. And it's just great. I don't nobody have time. And Egypt asked, if the situation were to come up right now, like, would you want to know whether or not your husband has been cheating? And so she was like, I think God has a way of revealing things and sitting things in your lap. And so, it would come out. But, yeah, I was just like, girl, you want to know. Every time it's brought up, you get in your feelings. So stop trying to sit up here and act like, oh no, I don't think my husband, like, she literally sits up there and it's like, I know my husband ain't cheating because he said he ain't cheating. And I'm like, girl, he is throwing every single red flag at you, sitting it in your lap, wrapping it up, putting a bow on it, and putting it under the Christmas tree for you to open. That clearly reads red flag, but somehow you ain't noticing. He is cheating something terrible. I don't know if he got one or a few. I don't know, but whatever. I can't wait till the next episode, y'all. But anyway, but yeah, he was like, no, I've never cheated on her and all that. And I'm just like, no, you're a lie. And of course, Martell said what he said again about, yeah, that's a lie. And so Letitia was like, well, were you there? He was like, yeah, I was there. I was like, what? Wait a minute. And so Letitia started looking crazy again. It's like, girl, I'm tired, y'all. So he was over there, meaning Marceau. He was over there talking and basically defending himself, but not really defending himself. But then Martell was whispering in Melody's ear and was like, should we bring up disrespectful cheating? And then Letitia told Martell that Melody tried to sleep with Marceau. Everybody looking like, what? What are you talking about? Y'all, I cannot. I don't think she desperate enough to do that. I'm just like, I don't think she desperate enough. I don't think she mad enough at him to be like, let me go over there to him. Like, What does he have to offer? Melody don't like the way he talk. I know I personally don't like the way he talk, because I wouldn't want nothing to do with any man that has his personality, who has the traits that he has. Everything about him outside of the money that he makes and the things that he builds, really, you know, I wouldn't want nothing to do with that. Like, nah, bro. So I don't see Melody sitting up there trying to bust it wide open, then tell him bring it back. I'm sorry, I don't see it. So anyway, it got so bad to the point where Maurice got upset and was like, you're tearing a marriage down. And so, I mean, y'all, like I just said, Melody is very pregnant. And so she was like, how am I tearing a marriage down? How am I tearing a marriage down? And he was like, you know what you're saying? 1 minute you're building them up and then you're tearing them down. So she was like, look, don't nobody have time, because she could say all of this. She will sit up there, in all honesty, really looking at it, especially given what we've seen just on this part of the reunion. She will throw a rocket hole and hide her hand. She really will bring something up, and then when somebody come back at her, it's woe is me. And it's like, why we gotta be sitting up here and be like, oh no, don't do that to Letitia. Now Letitia finna cry because you done sat up there and told her something again that she don't want to follow up on. People done told you what you need to do, but you won't do it. And like I said, I can't wait until the next episode, because if it's real, if it's not like something just to be said to ruffle some feathers, I'm gonna be here for it because it ain't happening to me. But anyway, yeah, Maurice is just really upset. Like, he went all the way off, and I was like, oh gosh, y'all. And like, he was like, you're tearing that marriage to pieces, y'all. I was dying. And Marceau is acting so calm. I've noticed the pattern in men like him. They cheat, they do all this other stuff. His whole personality, all the stuff that I cannot stand about him. When they are wrong and when they cheat and all this other stuff, even when they deny it, they are either really, really hostile about it, or they are very, very calm to the point where it's scary. And that's the way he was. Most situations, the dude be like, I ain't gotta cheat on you. I'm not cheating on you. But no, he was calm, and I was just like, and I mean, I could almost not even hear him. That's how low he was talking. And I'm just looking like, bruh, I know you cheating, and I ain't even there. I know it. I wasn't in the room. I wasn't in the car. I wasn't next to the trash can. I wasn't there. But I know you was cheating. So anyway, y'all, I was tired. So they took a lunch break, right? And so they still had the cameras filming. And I was just like, okay, keep on having the cameras rolling. So they all trying to have a come to Jesus moment, y'all. It's bad. It's so bad that Letitia then got up and walked off the stage. Her brother-in-law, Maurice, basically was like, you know, are you okay? And went and talked to her. Y'all, oh Lord, she was just like, I don't know why my son is being so mean to me. Where's my napkin? I got to get a napkin to simulate what just, I got to get a napkin because I was tired. I was like, girl. Okay, she was like, I just don't understand why Marceau is being so mean to me. And, you know, she was just like, he giving me this nonchalant attitude. And he actually did say that she acting stupid right now. Like, the stuff that he's saying would trigger anybody. It's like, what? Stupid? If I'm coming at you and been coming at you saying I'm on your side, I don't believe my husband has been cheating. But at the same time, I'm saying to you that your behavior is too calm and you are always, or you're just glossing over what is being said and ignoring it, so to speak, then, you know, that's speaking to something else in a way. And, you know, he get mad and he'll say stuff in a way that's not necessarily yelling, like, especially on this reunion, y'all. I was just like, this is too much. Because he literally was like, I just don't understand. Why did you think that I would want to be on a platform like this? Why would you think I would do this? And do you think girls would want to watch this and see you acting the way you act and say, oh yeah, I want to grow up and be like her? Like, said it like everything he was saying, like, was like, I was like, why is he talking so low? Like, he was so calm. Anyway, y'all, I digress. But yeah, she over there on the side of the thing crying. Kimmy and Marceau sitting on the stage looking away from each other looking like, all right, this is too much. I was like, oh my God. Y'all, so the Holts are in their dressing room reading them like exactly like what I said, which is that Letitia like to bring stuff up, start stuff, and then when somebody come at her with something more powerful, she get mad. So Maurice was trying to be like, it's never gonna stop. If y'all don't stop, it's never gonna stop. It's never gonna get better. It's never gonna get back to what it was, because you will say something and then you come back and say something worse, and then you come back and say something worse than that, and that is literally what has been going on. And I'm like, I understand your frustration, but they ain't gonna stop. You need to get down to the bottom of cheating for certain. Don't nobody have time. It's just too much. So anyway, y'all. But yeah. They were reading. It was like every time she brings something up, then somebody else tell her about herself or tell her something else. She want to get in her feelings and she want to cry, and then everybody got to have her back and everybody got to come to her defense. And I was just like, well, you right. So anyway, y'all, Marcel had this whole speech that he was talking to Letitia about, like I was just telling y'all earlier, and it just got to the point where they were like, look, y'all got to break this up because we got, to get back to taping and all this other stuff. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is too much. But he really sat up there like 5-10 minutes as far as what they showed us when they cut it, and then they, put it out there for us. Like he really sat there and was talking the whole time, and I was just like, he is so cringe. He makes me cringe. Like I don't understand what she saw in him. I'm just like, girl, what I really need to know. Girl, just tell us the truth. You met him, you screwed him, you got pregnant, whether the baby lived, died, whatever, you miscarried. You need to let us know if that's what it was. And he was like, oh man, let me go ahead and marry her, because I done got her pregnant within a literal month. Y'all got engaged. I don't know. And then like within that first year, I think y'all were married or what, I don't know, whatever it was. Let us know what that is, because he ain't. And then she said something which Melody did bring up, because she brought it up first. Letitia was like, yeah, we had this thing. We were talking about things that, we were able to overcome in our marriages. And she did say that she and her husband had rocky moments within the first like 3 years or 5 years of their marriage, and never said what those things were. But had the nerve to bring up the fact that Melody and Martell had infidelity issues going on. And it's like, let's talk about that. How did you overcome that? Okay, how did you overcome whatever you went through? Because you ain't even say what you was going through. And so Melody did bring that up, because that was true. And so she was like, who's asking the questions? Like, I thought she was asking the question. She was like, well, I'm asking the questions now. I was just like, girl, I feel like it was infidelity. So why don't you just say that that's what it was? Like, stop. Your marriage is not perfect. Your husband is trash. Let's just be real. Down in the comment section, let me know. Is Marcel trash to y'all or not? I'm just saying. What about him should be appealing enough for you to be like, oh yes, I want to keep having babies with him. Oh, like, was the money that great? Like, what was the sex must be amazing or something? Because her mind is gone. I don't understand. Y'all, anyway, but yeah, that was the end of that episode. That was part 1. I don't know how many parts they're gonna have. Hopefully it's just 2. But I can't wait till next week, because her mama gonna come up in there and she gonna say something about how she saw her husband leave out of the house at like 2, 3 or whatever in the morning, and she followed him. And I'm like, please don't be hyping us up for some lie, because you know how they'll do. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. And I gotta get back to work. I will try my best before I go to my next job to be at work while I'm waiting in the parking lot in the cold to do the recap for Ready to Love. Anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.